Hey, what's up, everybody? Woo, I love that music. But hey, hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing fantastic. Your friend Dean Kulaweera here every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. I'm right here to help you folks out with job search tips, advice, strategies, tactics, perspectives, this and that, and everything sprinkled in from my perspective as a tech recruiter working in the tech recruitment industry for over 8 years. Now, that being said, if you're not in tech, don't worry. I try to keep my advice as applicable to, whatever industry out there. But certainly for those of you in tech, any questions, anything you're experiencing in your job search, I might be able to provide more of a, customized perspective, not customized, but you know what I mean, a more specialized kind of perspective, given that I've always specialized in tech. So in any case, appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to everyone on LinkedIn, on YouTube, as well as Twitter, who are tuning in right now live. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you mark your calendars, folks. Every Wednesday, I'm right here. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone, to share job search tips, advice, and strategies for all you folks out there, right? So today's topic, what I'm going to be speaking about, and I'm going to get to this topic shortly, is investing in certifications, courses, trainings, workshops, all these things. And I'm talking here about, the well-known certifications or courses or training and stuff like that. Will it help fast track your job search? That's what I'm going to basically be covering today on today's segment. And does it help get you quicker results? Now, if you have done this, if you've taken any certifications and courses or some kind of training, if you personally have felt that it has helped in your job search, or maybe you feel like, Dean, I've taken certifications, I've taken courses, I'm still struggling in my job search, it hasn't made any difference. Whatever side on the table you're at, folks, share it in the comments. Let me know what you've been experiencing at your end. All right, I really want to know what people out there are experiencing in taking certifications and courses and stuff like that. Feel free to share in the comments, and also feel free to share in the comments any job search related, questions you have. You need some advice in some specific situation you got going on. Here's your chance, folks. Here's your chance. So make sure you put that or drop that in the comments. And if nothing else, hey, just introduce yourself in the comments. I love to hear more about who you are, where you're from, which country you're from, which city you're tuning in from. And again, don't be shy. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. All right. Now, what else? I wanted to share with you folks also, for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time, or maybe you only follow me on certain platforms, all my social links are on my Linktree page, all right, which is linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. That is linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. So I'm not just on LinkedIn, I'm not just on YouTube, I'm not just on Twitter. You'll find Dean on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Where else am I on? I think those are the main ones. I also got a podcast on anchor.fm. So you can look me up on there, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, like a whole bunch of other podcasting platforms. So you can follow me on there as well, folks. I'm putting out a ton of content throughout the week. All right, so none of you out there can say, Dean, you're not doing enough for job seekers. I'm doing something every day, folks. All right, so look, my intention is to put out some information out there that'll help you folks out there in your job search. And also, it's important for me to know what you folks are going or experiencing yourselves out there in the job search as well, right? So, hey, any of your experiences as a job seeker, feel free to share it in the comments. All right, I always appreciate those. It helps me keep an ear to the streets on what's going on and making sure I'm putting out stuff that's helpful for you folks as well, right? Also, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. Every Monday afternoon, I release a new newsletter where I talk about one recruitment related topic that's more so for the hiring managers out there or those involved in recruitment. And I cover a job search topic as well. And I also talk about events and places where you and I can meet up. We can network and have a conversation and further connect as well. Speaking of which, by the way, I'm glad I mentioned that because not this week, but it's going to be next week. Next week, Wednesday, I will be attending the event that's being organized by TechTO. TechTO, right? TechTO, popular community for people in tech here in the Toronto area. I can't remember the name of the event, but it's happening next week. It's on. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. Hold on, let me just quickly check my calendar. Forgive me, forgive me here, folks. Let me just briefly check my calendar. I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday I think it was Wednesday. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, it's gonna be It's Wednesday. So they've got an event going on next week, Wednesday, May 11th. It's called Tech Together or Tech Together. I don't know how they're pronouncing it, but it's an in-person event. So it's happening next week, Wednesday, May 11th. It's at some place downtown, I think, downtown Toronto. So if you're attending, I'm going to be there, all right? So if you see me there, don't be shy. Feel free to come up to me and be like, yo, what's up, Dean? I've seen you on LinkedIn. I've seen you on YouTube or wherever it is. And don't be shy, folks. Introduce yourself. I love to meet more people in the tech community. I'm definitely always looking to connect with people in the tech community. So if you're going to be at that event organized by TechTO next week, Wednesday, I will see you there. And do not be shy, all right? No excuses. Do not be shy. Come give me a high five. I'd love to meet with you. If you're not comfortable with handshakes and high fives just yet, give me a peace sign like that and be like, yo, Dean, I follow you on LinkedIn. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Twitter. I see you on Instagram. I see you on TikTok, whatever.
I don't have an answer for that.
So, whoa, look at that. Look at that. Even Siri got activated and she's like, I don't have an answer for that. I can't handle you, Dean, because you're putting so much content. All right. So in any case, that's going to be one event. And the other event that I'm going to be at is on Thursday of next week. I'm going to be attending the Markham Board of Trade Breakfast Networking event. So make sure you if you're a member of Markham Board of Trade, I'll see you at that event. Make sure you say hi, and would love to connect with you there as well. So today's stream, as usual, is sponsored by Tech Recruiters 360, which is my recruitment business. So if you're an IT professional, you're a organization in Canada looking for tech talent, you're experiencing challenges, whichever side of the table you're at, make sure you reach out to me for more information on how I can help you. Now, if you're an IT professional, I primarily recruit at the intermediate to senior level. All right. So that being said, even if you're a junior entry-level person, I'd still love to connect with you, because if I can't help you, I can definitely help you at some point in the future. Speaking of which, I'm currently recruiting on a position, which is a services management specialist. All right. This is a 1-year contract with a client of mine in the Greater Toronto area. Right now, the role is a hybrid role, okay? But right now it is a 100% remote role. It will eventually transition into a hybrid role, right? So just a heads up there. Now, this particular position, it is a junior level position, right? Someone with 1 to 3 years of professional work experience is completely fine. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be working closely with the PMO office with my client, and you're going to be helping with, preparing costing sheets for service opportunities, booking package services order booking package preparation, working with finance, generating reports, assisting the VP of service delivery on administrative tasks, also working with pre-sales and account managers to provide support in creating booking and costing sheets for services, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want more information about that, let me know. Again, this is a junior low role. The rate for this is up to $20 per hour. Perfect opportunity, folks, if you're a junior or hey, even like a minimal experience kind of candidate. 1-year contract, high probability of converting into a full-time afterwards. And what else? Other thing is you do have to be eligible for secret level government clearance. All right. Now, what that means is you have to have lived in Canada for the past 10 years consecutively. So consecutively for the past 10 years, you have to have been in Canada, right? So unfortunately, if you're a newcomer to Canada, unfortunately, I can't help you with this, because you do have to be eligible for secret level government clearance, all right? So that's what I'm recruiting on right now. Today's session is also sponsored by DK Global Talent. If your biggest problem, folks, is you're applying for jobs online, you're not getting responses, you're applying, you're not getting responses, My course will help you make use of direct messaging in order to stand out to recruiters and hiring managers out there through the use of direct messaging. All right. So for more information about that, check out dkglobaltalent.com/get responses, dkglobaltalent.com/get responses. All right. So with that being said, let's get into today's topic, folks. All right. Today's topic: certifications, courses. Do these things really help you fast track your job search? That's what I'm going to be sharing my perspective on this today. But if you want to share your own experiences, don't be shy, folks. All right. Share that in the comments. Let's see. We got some comments here. So we got Debatanyu. So shout out Debatanyu. Thanks so much for tuning in. Debatanyu says, "Hi Dean, landing in Canada June 22. How do I search for jobs?" Okay, I'm gonna get to your question shortly, Debatanyu. We got Tapan Roy in the house. Shout out to Tapan. Tapan says, "I'm a new grad, not enough skilled in any specific area. Can you please tell me how I can get a job?" Okay, so I'm gonna get to your question shortly as well, Tapan. All right, so just wait until I finish talking about today's topic. All right, now. Investing in certifications, courses, does it help get you quicker results in your job search? Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because every now and then I get someone reaching out to me and they're asking me for job search tips and advice, or I'm on a Zoom with them, or I'm on a phone call with them, and they're like, "Dean, you know what? I'm just gonna get a certification, or I'm gonna take this course or that course, or this training or that training that's being offered, and that's gonna help me fast track my job search." Now, what's my personal view on this? Well, my personal view on this, folks, is yes and no. It depends. Okay, like spoiler alert. That's my stance on this. Is it depends. And a couple of points I want to share with you. And the first point is, look, for some fields and for some professions out there, certainly are certain certifications that will help you fast track your job search. Like there are just some fields out there where having a certain certification is going to put you ahead of other candidates who might not have a certification. Now, the first example which comes to mind in relation to that is, the PMP, right? The PMP, IT project management is an area that I've recruited on fairly frequently, and definitely I have noticed like hiring managers definitely tend to, and again, I'm not saying every hiring manager out there, but what I have observed from hiring teams that I have worked in partnership with is when they see that PMP certification, in most cases, right? I'd say 8 or 9 times out of 10, in most cases, most hiring managers, they tend to lean towards candidates that have that PMP certification. Now, before those of you who don't have PMP, freak out. I'm not saying that this is the case all the time, and I'm also not saying that just because you don't have the PMP doesn't mean that you won't be considered for the role. Because look, if you have hands-on experience as a project manager, you got some great projects under your belt, you worked at some great companies, some credible organizations, that definitely does count. I'm not saying that none of that it no longer matters. But what I'm saying is, this is an example of one of those fields where having the designation or the qualification or the certification will help you stand out, right? So PMP is definitely an example that I could think of in one of those cases where having that designation or that certification will help you stand out, because it's just something that's widely respected in that industry, in that particular field. So what you got to think about is, does this apply to your field? Now, in contrast, I've also recruited on business analyst positions, where I think CBAP is one of the most popular qualifications for business analysts. Where I've definitely seen some hiring managers, they do prefer someone who has the is it CBAP or IIBA, and I think IIB is the one that offers the CBAP, but where it's not that much of an issue if they don't have that certification. Like, yes, I have definitely encountered hiring managers with like, look, we need a business analyst who has the CBAP certification, and they're very strict about it, right? But in most cases, what I've noticed in the business analysis field is it's not as strict. Like what they're really looking for mostly is, hey, someone who has that experience as a business analyst, who have worked on certain types of projects, certain types of industries, certain types of experiences within those projects. It's not as I don't see it as the same way as how the PMP is seen by hiring managers looking for project managers. So first point here is it depends, because for some fields, for some professions, for some industries, the certification might very well be extremely important, and it will certainly make you stand out from other competing candidates who might not have that certification or that qualification. So the first point here is you got to figure out for your field, your industry, whatever your field is, you got to figure out, is this certification, is this designation, is this course, is this training Is this something that hiring managers are going to see as placing me above other potential candidates who might not have this designation or this certification? So this is where you folks got to do some research, right? I mean, there's no one size fits all answer to this, because look, frankly, it depends. So that's the first thing. The first thing I wanted to share with you is, look, for some fields and professions, yes, absolutely, having a certain certification, having a certain designation, taking a certain course, or taking certain training will help you stand out, and possibly potentially help you fast track your job search. Because now it's like, bam, this person has the PMP, this person has this certification or that certification. Wow, they really stand out. Okay, they've got this compared to these other candidates who don't. Let's put them front of the line. Let's get on a phone call with them. Let's get them in for an interview. Let's have a conversation with them. So in those cases, yes, it can help. But in those cases where it's not really important, it's not really a really high in demand or must have type of certification, in those cases, I mean, it might or might not, right? It could depend on the hiring manager. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing is, and this is very important because this is one of the top complaints that I've heard from hiring managers, and that is, whatever certification you took, whatever designation, certification, course, training, whatever it is you took, do you have practical value out of this certification, or whatever this thing is that you took? Does it have any practical value, or did you simply go in there, memorize a whole bunch of stuff, pass the exam, you got your 97% or something, pass the exam, you got the certificate, you got the certificate, and is that all there is to it? Like, do you actually bring any practical value as a result of attaining this certification or this designation? And the reason why I mention this, and this is so important, folks, is because this is one of the major complaints that I get from hiring managers whenever I present a candidate and I'm like, oh yeah, this person has, such and such certification or designation. And every now and then I get a hiring manager comment, and usually it's hiring managers I have a very close relationship with, and they're like, come on, Dean. I mean, how many people have this designation and this certification? I mean, does it really even mean anything? Like, we've interviewed so many people, they have this certification, but it's purely academic knowledge. Like, they don't know how to apply what they've learned. They've just, memorized a whole bunch of stuff, and it just doesn't mean anything for me and my team, or me and my organization. So that's the second thing. Look, so right, so it's one thing for you to talk about, oh, I have this certification, I have that certification, oh, I recently invested in this designation, I have this, I have that, and blah blah blah. Folks, hiring managers hear about this stuff like it's almost like in one ear, outside the other ear, right? They hear about these certifications and people taking these certifications like all the time. And not just hiring managers, like I see this on LinkedIn as well. Like, how many of you, raise your hand, you see these posts on LinkedIn? Oh, I just completed, this certification. I just completed this thing or that thing. I took this course. I completed this course. I completed that course. Everybody's posting about this stuff on LinkedIn, right? I mean, you reach a point where you're kind of like, okay, but so what, right? I mean, so many people are taking these certifications and courses, and hiring managers a lot of times feels the same way as well, right? Because some of these certifications, some of these designations, the impression the hiring managers get is, look, they just memorized a whole bunch of stuff, they passed the exam, they passed the test, that's it, and it doesn't bring me any value because they don't know how to apply anything to our organization. So look, the point I'm trying to make here is, if you're going to talk about some certification you took, or some designation you have, or some course or some training you had, make sure, folks, listen to me very carefully, okay? Make sure you are communicating that you are able to apply what you have learned. This is what hiring managers want to know. Not even the recruiter, right? Like, recruiters such as myself, like, we don't know the tech. I mean, sure, we understand that there are certain certifications and qualifications and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not up to us to evaluate how you can apply to the organization. That is what the hiring manager is going to be doing. That's what they're going to kind of be looking for. So if you're going to mention such and such certification, or such and such qualification, or such and such designation, folks, you better be prepared to communicate how you're going to leverage and implement, or have some kind of practical value that you're going to be able to apply as a result of those certifications and qualifications to the organization. Otherwise, it's like, okay, the hiring manager is like, okay, whatever, you got a certification, congratulations. So did the other 10 candidates I spoke to, right? And what you got to show is that you're not like those other 10 candidates. You're not just someone that memorized a whole bunch of stuff and passed the exam, and suddenly you got that 3-letter, whatever it is, a comma, 3-letter you know what I'm talking about, the abbreviation after your name, right? You got to show that, hey, I'm not just some person that just, memorized a whole bunch of stuff and got some certification. Like, I know this stuff. I know this stuff, and I'm going to be able to apply this stuff and implement this stuff at your organization. That's what you got to communicate when you're talking about these certification, that these courses and these trainings that you folks are taking, because that will definitely help you stand out amongst other candidates. So look, again, I know I'm sounding a bit redundant right now. I'm kind of repeating myself, but it's so important. A lot of you folks, you're making this mistake. You're talking about, oh, I have this certification, I have that certification. Okay, great, congratulations. But now you want to take it a step above, and you want to talk about how you can leverage and use that information that you learned, or all this new knowledge you learned from this certification, and how you're going to apply that to this potential employer. That is ultimately what they want to know, folks. Look, it is a business. Hiring, recruitment is a business decision. It is a business conversation. Okay, this is not show and tell. Okay, this is not kindergarten. This is not a chance for you to talk about how great, how you did this, you accomplished this, and oh yeah, look what I did. I got 97%. Okay, great, good. But now what? How does the business benefit from this knowledge that you have? How does the organization benefit from having you as someone with this certification? And by the way, you also, as someone who has this certification, who's now demanding more salary and more compensation as a result of this certification and designation, right? Yeah, for sure, you can definitely demand more money as a result of you having this designation, or whatever it is. But now you gotta help them justify, paying more for your skills and your knowledge and your expertise. And how you're going to do that is by showing them how you're going to leverage all of that and implement it at their organization, and how it's going to help them, from a business standpoint. Because look, folks, the interview is a business conversation, period. All right, so that is my second tip in regards to that. Let's see, I have some other points here. I covered that. And yeah, so just make sure you are communicating the practical value of what you've learned. And this is not some random piece of advice I'm throwing out there, folks. Literally, this is one of the most common complaints I've heard from hiring managers. Hey, this person is, they've taken this certification, but they don't know, they don't have any practical value as a result of it. So make sure you're communicating this at your interviews, folks, and as part of your job search. Now, the third point is, and this is very important, what's your intention in taking the certification or designation in the first place, right? Because if you're taking a certification and designation purely for in order for you to improve your chances in your job search, this might not necessarily help. And I've spoken about this in the past. If you're going to take a certification or some kind of a designation or some training or qualification, make sure you're doing it as a career related decision, not as a way for you to think that it's going to help improve your job search. And the reason why I'm saying this is, if your job search strategy is inefficient, it's not effective. If your job search approach, your job search strategy is broken, it's failed, it's not a good strategy, getting a certification or qualification will not fix that issue, because it's a separate issue. You folks get what I'm saying? So if you're going to get a certification or take a course or attend some workshop or some training or whatever it is, make sure you're doing it to benefit yourself from a career standpoint. Because from a job search standpoint, if your job search strategy is faulty, if your job search strategy is weak, if your job search strategy is full of mistakes and blunders and stuff like that, all of that stuff will continue to occur despite you getting some certification or qualification, right? Fundamentally, your job search will have issues, and getting a certification and some qualification is not going to fix that. So what you got to do before you get any certification or training or investing in any of that stuff, first examine your job search, right? First examine your job search strategy. Is your resume well written? Are you approaching the right people? Are you connecting with the right people? Have you improved your interviewing skills? Have you improved your ability to communicate with recruiters? Are you able to sell them on your value? Are you asking the right questions? Are you probing and investigating as to the challenges the hiring team is experiencing? And are you highlighting the most relevant aspects of your background? Are you able to justify what you're asking for your salary and rate? Are you able to actually research and find out and figure out what you should be positioning yourself in terms of your rate, your salary, and all that stuff? Because if all of that stuff is broken, folks, if all of that stuff, if you're not doing well in all of those areas, like the fundamentals of your job search, getting a certification or some qualification, investing in training and courses, workshops that are going to make your profile look more fancy. Yeah, it might help in some way, but I mean, it's not going to fix all those other broken things, right? Right. I mean, if I could use an analogy, if I have a cough or a cold, I mean, me getting a blazer, a sports jacket is not going to fix the cough and the cold, right? Definitely, I look good. I definitely look good. I'm going to look professional. I'm going to look, official, professional, like I'm, ready to do business. I mean, definitely it's going to help with that, but I'm still going to have a cough and a cold. It's not going to fix the fundamental issues, right? So it's a similar thing with these certifications, trainings, and courses that you folks are taking. If you're going to do those in order to enhance your professional abilities, your professional, um, credibility and all that stuff. But don't take these certifications and courses and designations thinking that it's going to improve your job search strategy, because that's a completely separate item, right? So first, take a look at where does my job search strategy need improvement, right? Fix those things first. Or at the same time, if you feel like, okay, I'm probably due for some for taking this certification or this course or this training, fine, that's great, do that, but do that with the right expectations in mind. Do that because you want to enhance your professional profile, because your job search strategy, your job search issues, your job search problems, that could entirely be a separate issue, right? So just that's the point I'm trying to make here, right? So you got to make sure that you're addressing it and doing it for the right reasons as well, right? So make sure you keep this in mind, folks. And that's what I want to talk about today. And look, hope this helps you folks out there. Make sure you hit me up with a like, and make sure you share with your network as well. I'm going to get into the questions shortly. So any questions you have about whether it's this topic or some other topic related to your job search, now will be the time to put it in the comments. So make sure you do that. And again, make sure you hit me up with a like. Make sure you hit me up with comments if you felt today's session was helpful. And make sure you share this with anyone in your network who might be considering taking certifications or some training or courses, or pursuing some designation, and they think that it's going to help them improve their job search, right? So look, I hope today's session helped you folks out there. And I'm going to get to the question shortly, but just another reminder: if you want to follow me on my other social channels, all my social links are at link on my Linktree page, which is linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. All my social links are there, so make sure you follow me there, and also make sure you subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. After the session, just go to my LinkedIn page, go to the featured section of my profile, and there should be a link to the newest edition of my LinkedIn newsletter. So when you go there, just hit subscribe, and you'll get the notification every week on Mondays when I release a new newsletter edition. All right. And also, for those of you who are struggling in your job search, right? You're applying for jobs, you're not getting responses. One of the key issues that most of you job seekers out there are facing is not that you lack ability, not that you lack talent, not that you lack potential either. The biggest problem you're facing is something, fairly straightforward, and that is simply your application, your resume is simply getting lost amongst hundreds and thousands of other applications, right? It's simply that. And feel free to look up this statistic, but the statistic is, for every job posting out there is on average 250 applications submitted to every job posting on average, right? And no recruiter out there, no hiring manager out there, folks, is going to go through each and every one of those 250 applications on average, especially if you're considering that they might be recruiting on multiple positions. So if they're recruiting on like 4 positions, I mean, the average there is like 1,000 applications, right? No one's going to go through 1,000 applications, folks. They're going to run a keyword search. If your resume happens to have the right keywords, it's going to show up on the list. If it doesn't, unfortunately, it's not going to see the light of day, right? Now, how do you stand out? Well, you got to stand out by taking proactive steps in standing out to hiring managers and recruiters, right? And one of those things that you can do is making direct contact, right? Sending direct messages, sending a LinkedIn connection request, sending a direct message. If you got their email address, sending an email. But you have to send an effective email or an effective LinkedIn message or LinkedIn email that stands out, grabs attention, and increases your chances of generating a response. So that's what I do with my course, Applying to Jobs Online 101, where I teach people how do you stand out through the use of direct messaging, and I talk about how you can put out a eye-catching, attention-grabbing message. And there are 4 components to an effective direct message, which I talk about on the course. And for more information about that, feel free to check out dkglobaltalent.com/get responses, untitled.com/get responses for more details on my course, where I teach you the 3-step process on how to really apply for jobs. Okay. Step number one, identify the opportunities you want to pursue, identify them and apply to them. Step number two is make direct contact through direct messaging or emails. And step number three is follow up, because you don't want to depend on just one attempt at contact. You got to follow up, folks, because you're competing in a highly competitive job market, and you want to make sure that you stand out through follow up as well. So anyway, more information about that, feel free to check out my website, dkglobaltalent.com/get responses for more information on the course. So that being said, let's get into the questions. I know we had a couple of questions from before. So we got Debatanu, who says, "Hi Dean, landing in Canada in June 2022. Awesome. So hey, all the best in your journey, Debatanu, and make sure we connect. Looks like you're looking for tech jobs. How do I search for tech jobs? I have 10 plus years of experience in automation testing." Yeah, so Debatanu, my advice to you is, first of all, you got to start building your network, right? So two of the best places to start building your network, so that it's strong by the time you arrive here in Canada. I'm not sure which city. Start connecting with tech recruiters who specialize in obviously in tech, and also start connecting with your peers and other people in the tech industry in the city that you're going to be arriving at as well, right? Now, given that you're arriving in June, Debatanu, I'm not sure whereabouts in June you'll be arriving, but set realistic expectations for yourself as well. In most cases, recruiters and hiring managers might not consider you for any active positions they're recruiting on right now, because you're not here yet, and you'll be arriving in June. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't start building relationships, building connections, networking with people. Just reaching out to recruiters. Like, if you're reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn, send them a connection request. In your connection request, it could just be something as simple as, "Hey, I'm arriving in Canada in June. Just looking to connect with tech recruiters in the industry. Just looking to build my connections. Would love to connect with you and perhaps see if I might be a good fit for some of your clients when I arrive there in June." Boom, simple as that, right? So start growing your network, start building your connections right now, Debatanu, so that by the time you arrive in June, you're going to have a pretty good base of connections and a pretty strong networking. A pretty strong list of networking contacts as well that you can leverage when you are here. And when you are here is when they're going to take you more seriously as a viable candidate. So hope that helps, Devatanu, and all the best in your journey here. Make sure you let me know when you arrive as well, right? Happy to see if there's any way I can assist you at that point in June when you have arrived. So Tapan says, "I'm a new graduate, not enough skilled in any specific area. Can you please tell me how I can get a job?" Yeah, so look, this is a situation. So shout out to Tapan. And by the way, folks, shout out to all the new graduates out there, because look, it's tough on the new graduates out there, right? I mean, it's not easy. You don't have the professional work experience. But here's what you do have, Tapan, right? Here's what you do have. You do have all that experience that you have from all of your academic projects, all those school projects you did. Like, you have to leverage that, right? A lot of new graduates, a lot of you are like, you have this kind of mindset, "Oh, I don't have any professional experience. Oh, I don't have any working experience." Yeah, but you do have those school projects that you did, right? So my advice to you, Tapan, go back to your school projects. I don't know if you recently graduated or if it's been a while, but revisit those projects, and that's the stuff you got to leverage at your interviews and in your conversations with, especially with hiring managers. Like, that is stuff that shows your ability to apply what you have learned. That is the key, Tapan, right? The problem with companies is not that you're a new graduate. The problem is, okay, you're a new graduate, and it goes back to what I talked about when I was talking about these certifications and these designations. Does this person actually have practical knowledge? Do they have the ability to apply what they've learned? And it's the same thing with all of you new graduates out there, right? So talk about your projects. Talk about what you did in school. Talk about those team projects you were part of. Talk about your personal responsibilities in that team. Talk about what you did, what area you were responsible for. Talk about the outcomes of the project, right? So you gotta leverage these projects, because that's what you can be. You will be able to kind of use as experience, as somewhat experience, and ultimately be able to apply it at these organizations that you're interviewing for. So first thing, Tapan, don't say you don't have any skills in any specific areas. The fact is, you do have academic projects that you worked on. So you want to leverage that knowledge, leverage all of that to show them that, yes, I'm a new graduate, and yes, I might not have professional work experience, but hey, here's a whole bunch of projects I worked on when I was at school, And these are some samples of my abilities and my work and my potential. And this is what I can bring to the table at your organization. So they want to know that you have the ability to apply what you have learned. So you got to demonstrate that, Tapan, right? Hope that helps. So Inderjeet Singh says, what modern tech to learn to advance in career? Yeah, so I'd love to help you out with that, Inderjeet, but your question is very broad. Like, I'm not sure even what area in tech you're even in, right? Like, I'm not sure what's like. Are you a developer? Are you a QA? Are you in cloud? Are you in cybersecurity? Like, I'm not sure. It's a very broad question, right? So maybe be more specific next time, and I'm happy to see if there's anything I can provide in terms of my perspective based on what I'm seeing as a recruiter out there. So it looks like that's all the questions for today. Look, I appreciate everyone tuning in. And again, make sure you follow me on all my social channels, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. I put out daily content on various social platforms, folks. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Also my podcast, which I have on anchor.fm. So, hey, whole bunch of content out there to help you folks out. And if you're an IT professional, if you're an IT professional anywhere in Canada, make sure you connect with me. Send me an introduction message. I love to introductory message. I'd love to hear more about you and your career goals to see if there's any way I can assist you. If not now, definitely at some point in the future. And if you're an organization, you're struggling with finding tech talent right now, you're not sure if you're meeting the highest caliber of IT talent that you can meet right now, you require some assistance with that, definitely reach out to find out more information about how I can help you and help you find the talent that you're looking for at your company. And don't be a stranger, right? Say, hey, appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you mark your calendars every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. I'm going to be right here. So see you again next Wednesday, folks, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone, right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Hey, appreciate everyone tuning in. Everyone have a fantastic week ahead. Don't give up. Keep pushing and keep taking action, folks. I'll see you around next time.